with Barcelona frantically looking to replace Neymar before the window closes. Philippe Coutinho remains their top priority, and while it still seems unlikely, they are taking a never-say-never stance, according to Spanish journalist Guillem Balog. According to Balog's reports on Twitter, Liverpool is still refusing to sell at any price, having already officially rejected an offer of $94 million in as little as 45 minutes after it was received. Barcelona knows that the best way to push Liverpool to act is player pressure, and Balog reports they already have a deal hammered out with Coutinho, although that seems hard to believe because it would almost certainly have enraged the Reds for tapping up. It seems likely that the only way Barcelona can get Liverpool to sell is if Coutinho were to ask for the transfer himself, because the Reds are holding their ground to keep their best player. According to a report by The Sun, Bayern Munich is hoping to test Tottenham Hotspur over the availability of midfielder Eric Dier. It's hard to see Spurs chairman Daniel Levy allowing Dier to leave after cashing in on Kyle Walker, especially after the club already rebuffed Manchester United for Dier earlier in the summer. Bayern apparently hopes that Spurs turned United down after not wanting to sell to a league rival, and that they'd have a better chance of securing the England international with the move out of the Premier League. Spurs have been criticized this summer for failing to bring in reinforcements, with in-house replacement Kieran Trippier set to replace Walker. Therefore, it's tough to envision Dier being successfully pried away. With Manchester United unable to grab Dier from Spurs, they seem to be targeting another midfielder in Barcelona's Sergi Roberto. According to Spanish outlet Don Balón, the Red Devils are considering triggering Roberto's release clause of $47 million. United is hoping to cash in on the chance that Barcelona could bump Roberto down the depth chart if they replace Neymar with another midfielder. In addition, Roberto was often a scapegoat for some of Barcelona's failures last season, and he might be available for departure should a team want to pay up. The 25-year-old is under contract at Barcelona until 2019, but should Manchester United trigger the release clause, that would not matter, as they found out in the Neymar saga. The Red Devils reportedly would face competition from Chelsea and Roma. Chelsea have been told there is no chance they will sign Juventus fullback Alex Sandro. Old lady boss Massimiliano Allegri said after a friendly in London against Tottenham, that Alex Sandro is a Juventus player and he will stay one. When asked again, he said no chance. Sandro was linked with Chelsea after a stellar season at Juventus where he helped the club reach the Champions League final. The Blues seemed like a perfect landing spot with Sandro excelling in a 3CB system at Juventus, the same system that Conte plays at Stamford Bridge. Follow at _bonfire Paris. AP Lille's attacking potential this season was on display as coach Marcelo Bielsa's new team started its French league campaign with a 30 win over Nantes on Sunday. More Coutinho to Barca and more transfer rumors after finishing a disappointing 11th last season. Lille hired the Argentine coach, known as El Loco Bielsa Crazy Bielsa to his fans, with the aim of returning to the Champions League while playing an exciting brand of football. More Arsenal tops Chelsea on PKs in FA Community Shield. Lille also recruited more than a dozen of new players and the Northern club's squad appears to have gelled. Facing an unimaginative side, Lille dominated from the start but had to wait until the 48th to open the scoring through Paraguay defender Junior Alonso. Nicolas de Preville doubled his team's lead from the spot and Anwar El Ghazi put the win beyond doubt. The match also featured a duel between Bielsa and another prominent coach, Italian Claudio Ranieri. The managers, who had a quick chat before the game, returned to the French top flight after spending several years away. With better players at his disposal following Lille's ambitious recruiting campaign this summer, Bielsa's team was in control from the start. We played a high-energy match, on a fast rhythm, and we made only a few fouls, Bielsa said. I believe that we deserved the goals we scored, and that it is a fair result. Let's see if we can keep that rhythm and speed we want to play with throughout the whole season. Lille imposed a fast tempo by pressing high on the pitch, the Argentines' trademark, and created several chances in the opening stages with fast moves down the flanks that caught out the Nantes back four. But for all their possession, the hosts lacked a cutting edge in the box. Bielsa's influence was evident in the 14th when Nicolas de Preville tried and missed an acrobatic volley. The French striker did not give up though, tracked the ball down and managed to recover it before setting up newly signed Luis Araujo, whose shot was blocked. Nantes could have moved ahead against the run of the play when Abdoulaye Touré recovered the ball 20 meters from the host's box and forced Mike Maignan into a superb dive with a long and powerful shot. The Lille backcourt keeper managed to parry the ball onto the crossbar and Préjus Nkoulma, alone in front of goal, fluffed his header from close range. Lille finally broke the deadlock 3 minutes into the second half after taking advantage of a poor clearance from Nantes captain Leo Dubois. Alonso received the ball outside the box and unleashed a powerful strike into the bottom corner. Maignan made a decisive save in the next minute to deny Emiliano Sala's chip attempt at the conclusion of a slick counterattack to keep his team's lead intact. Lille was awarded a penalty in the 68th after Kevin Malcuit was fouled by Nicolas Palois in the box, and Depreville converted from the spot by sending Maxime Dupe the wrong way. El Ghazi made it 33 minutes later with a clean finish. El Ghazi celebrated his goal by taking his shirt off, revealing a tribute to former Ajax teammate Abdel Hiknari, who collapsed during a pre-season game this summer and suffered brain damage. Bielsa guided Marseille to a fourth-place finish in 2015, while Ranieri, who famously led English club Leicester to the Premier League title in 2016, helped Monaco win the second division title in his first season, and then finish runner-up in the top flight in 201,314. Vitesse Arnhem equalized in the second stanza during Saturday's Dutch Super Cup match against Feyenoord, but there was a bit of controversy surrounding the sequence that led to the goal. More Coutinho to Barcelona and more transfer news. Alexander Butner converted from the penalty spot in the 58th minute to level things up for the reigning Dutch Cup champions, but video replay came into play moments earlier to help decide the call. Vitesse attacker Karim El Amadi looked to have been taken down inside the penalty area during the 55th minute, however, the referee waved play on initially. From there, Feyenoord went on the counter-attack and scored a goal of their own on the opposite end through Nikolai Jorgensen, making the match 20. After video replay showed a foul inside the penalty area committed on El Amadi, the referee pointed to the spot. Feyenoord went on to win the match on penalty kicks after the fixture finished level at 11 during regulation. Follow at Madrid Football. The game in 100 words or less. Sunday's match at Providence Park had it all. A VAR decision cancelled out a goal for the visitors, while the Galaxy saw its newest signing make his debut. Unfortunately for Sigi Schmid's men, Jonathan Dos Santos' first match didn't result in 3 points against the Timbers. The Pacific Northwest side broke the deadlock just 5 minutes into the match, while Diego Valeri scored one of the best goals well beyond the half-hour mark with a blast from distance. Alves Powell tacked on the last finish for the hosts, while Emmanuel Boateng gave the Galaxy their consolation in the first half. 3-4 moments that mattered. 11 feet, VAR comes into play. The Galaxy thought they had taken the lead, but then VAR stepped in. 33 feet, Valeri continues to defy logic. There's just no chance Brian Rowe was going to save that, or any keeper for that matter. 55 feet, Audi dazzles before Powell blasts home. Just in case there was any doubt who was winning the match, Alves Powell put the Galaxy's hopes to bed with this scorching strike. 64 feet, the other Dos Santos makes his debut. The Galaxy's fortunes weren't the best on Sunday, but they did get a look at their newest signing. Follow all of PST's MLS coverage, standings, stats, schedule. Man of the match, Diego Valeri. Goal scorers, Liam Ridgewell 5, Emmanuel Boateng 6, Diego Valeri 33, Alves Powell 55 feet. Follow at Madrid Football. West Ham truly struggled at times last season. Injuries were abound. There were questions asked of Slaven Bilic. And yet through all that, they finished 11th. That seems to speak to the depth of the roster and the fantastic, sometimes underappreciated managerial job Bilic did to keep the Hammers afloat despite all the struggles. Livestream Premier League Live this year, the bad luck should turn around. West Ham shedded the excess fat on the squad and brought in a pair of impact players who should step right into the starting lineup. Marko Arnautovic especially is a fantastic addition, who along with Robert Snodgrass, Manuel Lanzini, Sofiane Feghouli, and Michail Antonio should provide plenty for new signing Chicharito to feast on. Best, worst case scenarios. Best case, this is a Europa League team. With all the new attacking talent for Bilic to play with, he can rotate players to avoid or deal with injuries. At the back, Bilic will have to find his preferred formation, because the depth will give him headaches, a good problem to have. Through all the problems last season, the team still finished strong and away from the relegation battle, proving they are not a relegation candidate this season, even if the injury troubles return. Worst case is probably another early flirt with the bottom third, but ultimately they pull out of it for a 13th place spot. Best possible 11 is Hartfonte, Reed, Ogbonna, Antonio, Noble, Lanzini, Kruate, Arnautovic, Carroll, Hernandez. This is tough, and you can be sure Bilic will rotate plenty. Pablo Zabaleta and Aaron Cresswell will get time in a typical four-man defensive line, while Robert Snodgrass and Sofiane Feghouli will rotate through on the wings. Diafra. Sacco provides striker depth. More 201,718 petalitre season preview hub transfers in Marco Arnautovic Stoke City, $27 million. Chicharito Bayer Leverkusen, $21 million. Joe Hart Manchester City, loan. Pablo Zabaleta Manchester City, free. Transfers out Ashley Fletcher Middlesbrough, $9 million. Havard Nordtved Hoffenheim, $8.5 million. Darren Randolph Middlesbrough, $6.6 million. Rafael Spiegel Boavista, free. Stephen Hendry Southend United, free transfer. Last season, 11th place in Premier League, FA Cup third-round loss to Manchester City, League Cup quarter-finals loss to Manchester United star player Chicharito. Last season, West Ham seriously missed a player who could finish chances with Andy Carroll either out or misfiring. Now, they have a guy who can provide that final touch. Chicharito is a top-class striker who lead up the goals where last season the Hammers failed to find the back of the net. Last year, West Ham was 9th in the Premier League in chances created. Add Arnautovic to that mix, plus a healthy Snodgrass and Lanzini, and this season could be a big return to England for the Little P. Coach's Corner Slaven Bilic, if it wasn't clear after his first season in charge at West Ham, last season should prove how valuable the 48-year-old Croatian is to the Hammers. Bilic is able to mix and match his tactics to fit who is available and on the field, such an important trait last season when players were dropping like flies. Now, with good squad depth, he'll need to channel that ability again to get everyone's best. PST predicts with the creative talent and steadiness at the back, West Ham should seriously improve on last season. They'll finish more chances, and with Bilic in charge, this should be a top-half team with a shot at a Europa League spot. Follow @_bonfire.